Greetings all, this is Precious, the New Jamaican, and welcome to my channel. So I wanted to give you all a follow-up as to where we are with respect to our shipping container. We do not have it yet. And for those of you who are not going to heed my advice and ship a container anyway, you're going to need this information. But I did want to let you all know where we are. I recently, I guess it was last week. Yes, it was. It was last week. Received an email from the shipper. She attached the bill of lading and basically thanked us for using them for our shipping needs, and said they are now, their portion of this whole ordeal is over with. I would now only be dealing with the Jamaican agent who's going to help clear our items when they arrive. She gave us the agent's name and information a while ago, and we have already been in contact with them. So let's see, I want to go back. When we first started this whole process, and I told you all about how we had gone on the Jamaican Customs website and looked at the entitlement list. And this is a list of things that you are entitled to bring to Jamaica. Furniture and generator and refrigerator, stove, so forth and so on. And I said that I wasn't sure how much they follow this list, seeing as how there are things on there that, I mean, I don't even know why I separated. Like they have percolator. I think that's the old-fashioned coffee maker. They have typewriter style. Nobody has typewriters anymore. So, but when I really looked at that list, compared to the list that the packing list that the shipper sent us, which was an Excel spreadsheet, where you will personally list the items that you are bringing, the weight of those items in kilograms, and the value of those items, and you compare the packing list to the entitlement list, it does kind of match. Now, what's not on the entitlement list is like, you can bring clothes and you can bring shoes. Of course you can. But it has, like, when it does encompass the big items that you will bring. Furniture and appliances and even exercise equipment and china, stuff like that, or oil paintings, those kind of things. It actually does sort of coincide with what you would be listing on your packing list that your shipper will send you. Now, I'm sure all shippers do things slightly different, but there is there is a uniform way as to what things are done in the shipping industry. So it wouldn't matter whether you're using iContainer or Miami Freight and all that jazz. So what happened with us early on, the shipper sent us a packing list, that is the Excel spreadsheet that we had to list individually what we are sending. We had to do a guesstimate of the weight in kilograms. That's easy to do. We were in the US, we were raised on the imperial system, not the metric system. So you just go to a website, look up a conversion calculator, and you're going to be guessing what the weight of something is. I mean, you don't know how much a stove weighs if you send a stove. You don't know how much a sofa weighs, but you're going to give a guesstimate. And you're going to put it in kilograms. Then you're going to give the value, what the items are worth. There are some things that you would have purchased for this move. You're going to keep your receipts. There are some things you're not going to have receipts for, i.e. your old clothes, things that you may have purchased off of, say, Facebook Marketplace. You're not going to have a receipt for those, but you are indeed going to have an estimation as to what the value is, not what you paid for it, but what the value of it is. Because think about it, if you purchase something real of great value, say from Facebook Marketplace, for a great discounted price, you're not going to put the price of what you paid for it. Just to give you a quick example, we bought a really beautiful piece of furniture off of Facebook Marketplace. that the owner would have kept himself, but he had just moved and could not fit it into his new apartment, his new place. So it was sitting outside. We paid under $100 for it. I guarantee you it's worth probably $2,500, $3,000 easily. We're going to put what it's worth, because if they lose or damage that, you don't want them, you want them to give you what it's worth, because you may want to replace it with something of equal value or close in value as possible. So um, you're going to complete this packing list. Now, when we when our container was finally ingated and got on the rail, they weigh the container. So what the shipper then did was sent me an email saying, hey, the full amount of what you said your items, your container was, is different from what it was ingated at. What we did, we guesstimated way more than what it actually weighed. And so she was like, just adjust this. That's actually easy to do. You just adjust it where you know, so that it matches exactly what the container actually weighed. So you're going to adjust your weights in kilograms so that it matches exactly what the container ingated at, weighed at. Then going down the line, waiting, checking to see whether things are shipped off and whatnot. Our container, as it stands right now, is on the vessel. It has not sailed yet. Um, I don't know why. Part of it may be COVID. Part of it just may be the way the industry runs. They have to get so many containers, or want to get so many containers on a vessel before they ship it out to sea and whatnot. So the estimated date of shipping and selling and arrival keeps changing. So we're just waiting. In the meantime, we started receiving documentation from our agent here of things that we needed to get, things that they needed from us, and things that we needed to sign and get signed in front of a JP. There were a couple of one was called a document called a C-73. She was like, just sign this. There was another one that was called C-84. Just sign that. Don't fill it out. We'll do it because you're not going to know. So we did that. We had to send them a notarized copy of Raymond's passport, the picture page and the immigration stamp page, as well as a notarized copy of his TRN card. Notarized meaning we had to take a picture of it and then take it to a JP, and our JP, signed those three items, as well as the other documents. Well, she didn't have to sign some of the stuff. Another thing that they sent us was that entitlement page that Jamaica Customs, that's on the Jamaica Customs website. They also asked for the packing list that we had to send, that we received, that Excel spreadsheet that I was just talking about, that we had to send to the shipper. The agent needed to see that as well. She later on sent sent us a letter when they assigned our container on our to one of their, or actually two of their agents who works for that company. Raymond had to sign a letter in front of a JP saying that he authorizes these two individuals to clear our items for us. So we had to do that. But one of the interesting things is when we sent her a copy of our packing list that lists everything, with the weights and all that. The entitlement list doesn't ask for the weight, but they do ask for the value of things, just as the packing list did. But they did not match. Well, she sent us an email saying, hey, your packing list, the value, your total value, doesn't match the total value of the entitlement list. We're like, well, of course it doesn't, because the entitlement list didn't make any room for, say, clothes, or there are some other things that it didn't even ask for that we have indeed shipped and that we are entitled to bring, or whatever. Are they going to check this line by line? And her response was, of course, this was via email. And then it dawned on me why she didn't say anything. I think she can't. She's not allowed to give us direction like that. It's like going to a courthouse. If you go to a courthouse and you're new to certain things, and they give you some information or forms to complete, and you ask them, how do you complete this? They'll tell you, I'm not allowed to give you legal advice. She don't want it in writing that she's telling us what to do. So basically, figure it out. That is when you would take your packing list and adjust where you can. Like, whatever you value your clothes at, adjust that. Now, things that you cannot adjust is something you may have a receipt for. Like, say if you bought a brand new refrigerator, you're going to have a receipt for that. You don't want to change on the packing list or the entitlement list this receipt, the amount of it, when you have a receipt that says it costs this much. So you have room on your packing list and on your entitlement list to make adjustments so that they match identical. So it sounds complicated. It really isn't. Changing the weight of the things on your packing list to match the weight of your container may sound difficult. It isn't. You'll see it when you get to this point. It really is not that difficult to do. So we had to do that. We had to change the weight as necessary on the packing list so that it can match what the container actually weighed. We had to change things on our packing list and on the entitlement list so the value of our items could match identical. And from this point, after we gave all of those documents signed, notarized, and she needed those things in person. Some of the stuff we were able to email her, like those forms, that C-84 and C-73 form, and the letter saying that well, not the letter. There was something else that we had to give her, but I believe there was something else we had to give her. We were able to just email those things, but the things that needed to be notarized, she needed the actual copies. She asked us to either courier it to her. Terra Courier is the only courier I know here in Jamaica, but we decided we would just bring them to her. So she said either courier them to us or bring them to our office. We need the actual documents. We did that. We are now just waiting for our container to come in. When that happens, I'm going to bring you along on that process as much as I'm able to. I don't think I can do any kind of videotaping at the wharf and all that jazz, and I don't really want to do that. But I'll bring you along on that journey to let you know how that went. We have, see, they picked up our container. I keep always wanting to say June, but it wasn't. We started this whole process in June. We are now in October and we still do not have our container yet. This is one of the reasons why I keep imploring you, don't do this. Just don't do this. Some of this is COVID related. I think probably most of it is COVID related, but a lot of it is just a hassle and not necessarily worth it to me. And then we also, as I said before, made the mistake of bringing too much stuff. We were trying to furnish our entire house. If you're going to do this, bring as little as you possibly can. Just as a note, our neighbor here was visiting America when we arrived, and she got back after we arrived. And she apparently shipped some barrels that got here maybe 2 weeks ago. So if you're going to ship something, maybe ship some barrels. That would be no issue. The containers are what appears to be an issue. Now, I don't know where she was at in America. I know she looks like there were about 4 barrels that she had shipped. She got back here after we did. And she has her things. We still don't have ours. Um, as I said, I'm able to somewhat track, I'm supposed to be able to really track our container when the vessel starts to move. That's how I know it hasn't moved yet. I just know it's on the vessel. And but the date of departure and arrival keeps changing. Supposedly, we're going to receive it this month, in the month of October, and we got here in at the end of July. So it's been frustrating. with respect to the container, at least it's not still in Chicago. We do have some movement. One of my sisters was telling me, hey, Precious, things aren't moving as fast as you want them to. But when you think about it, things are moving along. You got your citizenship, you got a vehicle. I'm like, and you got your container out of Chicago. So I should be grateful. And but I still would encourage you, if at all possible, don't ship a container if you are coming straight away, or if you are soon coming to Jamaica. Just avoid this whole thing. Just avoid it. Even when this COVID thing is completely over, I think it's going to take some years for this ripple effect to stop. I mean, look what's happening at the ports in California. I mean, I know you know all about that. I'm not going to get into it, but crazy madness. This is mind blowing. I think it's going to take a while for things to smooth on out. So just don't do this. Don't ship anything, particularly not a container. It is not worth the headache and the hassle. I'm sure I'm going to be very, very glad when this is all over. I'm going to be happy that I did ship the things that I shipped. I mean, we wanted certain things and we have them. So I'm going to be glad in that respect. But I would still encourage you not to do this. That's just my advice. Do as you must. Know what you're going to have to deal with. Ask me any questions in the comments section down below. I would do my best to answer them. And I hope this is helpful to you. I'll just be glad when this is over. But anyway, that's really it. That's where we are with respect to the container. One of the things that I forgot to mention is that what you're going to use for your records, you're going to prepare not only the entitlement list that you're going to receive from your agent here, which comes from Jamaica Customs, or on the packing list, which you're going to receive from the shipper, that you're going to itemize everything. You need a personal list that you need for your own records. Now, your shipper may tell you to do this. They should tell you to do this. What I did, I numbered each and every box that I sent, whether it was something brand new that was completely in the box, or whether it was something like, say, kitchen accessories or clothes and shoes. I numbered each and every box. You want to write on it big on the top of the box, on all sides of the box, not necessarily the bottom, so that no matter where it is on the container, where it is when it comes off of the container, where it is in your house when your things arrive, you can be able to look at it and know, no matter which angle, which way it's sitting on the floor, on whatever, what number box that is. Then you want to put either on an Excel spreadsheet or on a Word document what is in each box. Now, that's time consuming someone, but it's going to be necessary and useful and helpful for you in the long run. So what I did, say if I named box number 1 kitchen accessories, then I kind of enumerated what was in that particular box. So say if you were looking for a specific kitchen item or clothing item or whatever item, you can easily figure out which box it is, and this again is for your records, just by going to your Excel spreadsheet or your Word document to figure out where you put that particular item. And again, this is only for your records. You're going to get the entitlement list from your agent here, which comes through customs. You're going to get your packing list, which is going to come through your shipper, and that's going to be detailed to an extent. This is going to be very detailed. Again, this is for your benefit. So you want to do something like this. If I'm able to, I will go ahead and show you an example of what we did. This again is for your records. You're going to need this in the long run. So make sure you have, again, your own personal list that is much more detailed than the entitlement list from customs, than the packing list that you're going to create yourself and give to your shipper, and again to your agent here. But this is for your own records. Know what is in each and every box. Number each and every box. And another thing that I did on my packing list, that the Excel spreadsheet, so say if I had boxes 1 through 5 that are kitchen accessories, I said that these were kitchen accessories. Then I put in parentheses that is box 1 through 5. They don't need that, but I needed it. I wanted that for myself. But even if you don't do that part and add that information to your packing list, you do still want a separate list for yourself, detailed, numbered, and knowing what's in each and every box. You don't have to say this box has 5 bags of noodles. What if you want to do that? Do that. But just make sure you have something that you can identify later and help you along the way when your items do indeed arrive. So thought I'd share that information with you as well.
So this is a sample of what I did for our files. These are the boxes slash items that we ship to Jamaica. And as you can see, I have a column for the box number and another column just um, showing what's actually in each box. I didn't go crazy detail, but you can see I have a title there of these are kitchen items, kitchen accessories, and then sort of a list of what was actually in those boxes. I have the same for like bathroom accessories and bedroom, blah, 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 so forth and so on. So that should give you a bit of an idea as to what you should do for your own records, and hopefully that should be helpful to you.
So that is all I have for you today on our update with respect to our shipping container. I trust that this information was valuable. I hope it was helpful without being too overwhelming. If you have not done so, please go back and give my other videos a watch, a like, a comment, and share them as well. Signing off for now. Love, joy, and health to you until we meet again. Stay conscious and stay connected. Peace.